Good morning, everybody. It is Takeaway Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Tina Kavergich, and I am Northern Stamper. I am a Canadian independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located just east of Toronto in a town called Ajax. Comment below of from where you're tuning in from. I'd love to see where you're checking in from. As I said, I'm a Canadian independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so if you are, interested in receiving any of the items that I'm showcasing today, let me know. I have an annual catalog. I also have a mini catalog, which is totally filled with super duper holiday items. They're great to have, and right now, still for the month of July and August, you can receive free items when you purchase $60 or at $120, and you can get some free items from the celebration. So let me know if I can help you at all. I'm just checking in on here. So, all right, there we go. Good morning, Mary Jane. I am glad you could join us. Anyways, thank you for joining me. I'm going to put this off to the side. Let's put it right on the floor. And today we are going to be using the lovely and lasting stamp set. I love this stamp set. We've been using it all month, along with this super duper punch, which I think is totally fantastic. And we are going to be making a card for today. We've been using the Lovely and Linen Suite all month, and it is just one of my favorite. We will be continuing in August using the Lovely and Linen Suite, but we will be making fancy fold cards. And you're wondering what a fancy fold card is? It is a card that has a little bit of more folds and pizzazz to it. So we're going to be making some cards that has a little bit more pizzazz and fancy folds to it in August. So I hope you join me for August for some more cards. Anyways, let's get started. I hope you have your items. We are choosing Lovely and Linen Designer Series paper. So it doesn't matter which kind you choose. I'm going to choose this pattern, and I just grabbed something that's going to match it on the other side. And I have my cardstock, and I've just picked up some cardstock that picks up the color from the Designer Series paper, and I'm using Night of Navy. And so we're going to be doing that. Grab some ribbon, that's something that would match it. There we go, some nice pale papaya. And we need a piece of white, which we are going to be embossing. So hopefully you have all of that, and of course some inks. I hope you have some inks. I'm using Night of Navy and Pale Papaya because those are the colors in the Designer Series paper. So give me a thumbs up when you're ready. I have been having a little bit of difficulties with the Facebook live portion on my regular page, so hopefully you won't be missing it. I tried to have it so it shows up over there. Hopefully. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes Facebook does some strange things, but you know, that's the way it goes. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Carol, thank you for your comment about my haircut. Yeah, the lady, she just kept on cutting, and you know, when you're sitting in the chair, you just really don't know what's going on. So, all right, we are ready to get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera onto the mount so that you can see the workspace that I'm working on. And, oh, Kathy, I'm glad you could join us. Thank you, thank you. And Cindy's here. Good morning, Cindy. All right. Okay, let's see. I just don't want to get this all caught up. All right. I have a very, high-tech kind of setup here. I have TV trays and old magazine racks. And so my setup is a little unorthodox. So it's a little bit... I really should show it to you. It's quite interesting. Anyways, so when I move things around, it's not a very, super duper high-tech transition. It's kind of like a ride at Wonderland, kind of like that. So hold on. If you get a little queasy, hi, Lori, how you doing? Just kind of look away for a second, and I will set it up, okay? Hold on a sec. right? Here we go. I try and do this as quickly as possible to set it up. There we go. Oh, look. Okay, so as I mentioned, my name is Tina Kavergich. You don't have to remember that. All you have to do is remember northernstamper@gmail.com. That is the easiest thing to do. Drop me an email, northernstamper@gmail.com. Try to make life simple. I think we got too many difficult things in life, so I am try and make life as simple as possible for us. All right, so what we're going to be using today, I'm going to be using the quadrifoil tile, and what we're going to do as we go through, this is a really lovely embossing folder. Yeah, so you can see it's a little thinner, but it's really turns out very lovely, and we've been making cards this month with it. So, all right, are you ready? Martina, how you doing? Thank goodness. I'm glad everybody's checking in. Oh, I'm good. Oh, this makes me happy. Okay. All right, so we've got our designer series paper. You're going to notice I have not had it cut yet, but I'm going to tell you the dimensions on that to cut. We've got our cardstock, and we have our white. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your basic white, and now that is cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4. So that when you do a card base, it will be nicely matte. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it in between the embossing folder. Now you see this little Stampin' Up! Sign? That means that's the top of the embossing folder. So whatever embosses will come up. If you flip it the other way, it goes down. So it depends, you know, sometimes when you emboss, look at both sides, because one side may be more to your liking than the other. So just to let you know. So you're going to put that in the embossing folder. Doesn't matter, up or down, this or that. It doesn't really matter, because really it does turn out beautiful either way that you do it. So I'm going to put it in, and what you're going to do is you're going to put it through your embossing machine. So I'll give you a minute to do that. So you're going to run it through. Make sure you have your plates done correctly. Now this will not fit through the mini cut and emboss machine. So what I have done is already even embossed it with the last night, just to show you. So this doesn't fit through the mini. Otherwise I would have done it with the mini here on my desk. Okay, so when you're done that, right, you're going to see how it turns out. It's very lovely. I don't know if you can see. Maybe you can't quite see. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see there. Very, very lovely. It does add quite a bit to the cardstock as it runs through. So adding, it's called dry embossing. It adds quite a bit. Okay, so we have this piece of basic white dry embossed. Okay. Oh, Liz, you found us. Thank you. I'm glad. This will also be posted on YouTube, so I'll also send a link. I was having some problems this morning with my Facebook Live button. I guess, I don't know what's going on, so I don't ask too many questions. Now, I have so I'm going to put this off to the side. I have my cardstock here, and what I'm going to do is just make a basic card base. Okay, I'm going to cut it in half with my trimmer. Okay, and just make a card base any way you want. If you want the hot dog or the hamburger kind of view, it's up to you. Long or short, it doesn't matter. So what's going to happen is I'm going to fold it. Okay, now I'm not putting ribbon around the white, so what I can do is I can glue down the white right away, so I don't want to lose it. I don't know about you, but my friend Liz knows that whenever I put something down on my table, I always lose it. I don't know why. And you'll see that the white has a nice frame around with the blue, so you can see a nice frame there. There you go. Now, so I don't lose anything, I am going to glue that down. Okay, and let's see, when you flip it over, it's got a different embossing view altogether. So I'm just going to glue this down so I don't lose it. My friend Liz comes over, and you know, it must be 65 feet of linear table. We lose everything all at once. I don't understand how that possibly happens. We put it down and it's, it's lost on the table forever. I don't know how that happens. So I'm going to glue that down. It's just so that I don't lose it, and I can put that off to the side. So that's what we're going to do with the card base at the moment. We still need our trimmer. And now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to cut our DSP. Now I've chosen a nice pattern DSP from Lovely and Linen, Sweet. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to match it. I'm going to choose one of the colors in here. I could have taken the red. See, I could have flipped it over and picked up the Sweet Sorbet from that, but I really like the Night of Navy. I think the Night of Navy really pulls it up. It depends on what color of designer series paper you have. This is actually a fantastic card to use for pieces. So if you have smaller pieces, this would work really well. So I highly suggest keeping this card and these dimensions so that you can create other cards. And this will be a great one for Christmas. Like if you did a Christmas pattern on this, it's going to look absolutely lovely. And you know what? Christmas is going to be here before you know it. And you're going to need to make a lot of Christmas cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these papers and I am going to cut them. And I'm going to write this down, okay, so that you can see. And I'm going to cut the two pieces, and I want to have at least 6 pieces all together. So I'm going to cut it 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. So I'm going to do all the pieces like that. So I want nice little squares. So let's get this up here so that you can see. So I'm going to cut that 1 1/4. So there we go. Oops. Be careful. Make sure it's on the line so it doesn't slide. And I'm actually just going to do a couple of these because, I'm cutting. I might as well just do a few extra so that when I'm finished with this video, I can make more cards. Okay? All right. So I have that. This is my main piece. Now I'm going to cut this one, which is my kind of subtle piece of designer series paper. I'm going to cut it to the exact same size. All right, so let's do a couple of those. 1 1/4. So where are the numbers? There we go. 1 1/4. Hopefully you can see everything. There we go. And I'm going to take these all, because they're already all one size, I'm going to cut these all at the same time. The great thing about with the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you may not know this, but if you're really good and you can grab all your designer series paper at once and pinch it together, you can cut up to 6 pieces of DSP in one swipe. And that always reminds me of that, you remember the Disney Mickey Mouse, and when he was Mickey and the Beanstalk, he was running around yelling, "I got 7 with one swipe." Well, with the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you can do 6 in one swipe. There we go. Christine is watching between calls. That just kills me, Christine. You're so funny. So funny. Anyways, all right, there we go. We're going to cut that. The trick is when you cut with multiple pieces of DSP, pinch it and really hold it. And take a little bit more time. Carefully cut them, okay? So there we go. I can probably get another one out, but that's all I need. See, they all cut at the same. This we go. I usually cut 4 at a time. I can do up to 6, but when you're doing small pieces like this, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But you can cut multiple pieces of DSP at once. Okay, so that is a fantastic way to do it. All right, we're not done with our trimmer yet, so don't put that away. All right, so we have our designer series paper cut at 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. There we go. Okay, we got that. Let's put that up there like that. And what we want to do next is get a piece of cardstock, and we want to make a little frame for all of these. And you can do that, and what we're going to do, I'm going to get this big piece, and we're going to cut it 4 inches by 2 3/4. So let me get another piece of paper and write that down. Okay, we're going to cut it at 4 inches. by 2 3/4. Okay, that's going to be our next cut. I'm going to put that on top. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to 4 inches by 2 3/4. So 2 3/4, there we go. If you want a wider mat area around, go a little bit, do a couple of more little tick marks and cut it. And I'm going to turn this to 4. There we go. So 4 and 2 3/4. Or if you want a thicker edge around, go like 2 and 5/8 or 7/8 or something like that. I'm not the greatest on those 8 little marks. I don't know about you. Comment below if you are fantastic at doing those 8 marks. I know those that sew are really good at it, but you know, they're just really too much for me. So I'm going to put that over here. I have my mat, and I'm going to take these little pieces. Now, if you make a mistake, that is okay. Hold on to your cardstock, and we'll figure something out for that again. So what we're going to do is we are just going to put our little squares down, and we're going to alternate. All right? And let's just put these down. So I'm going to have a whole bunch left over, right? Oh, what's wrong here? Are these exactly the same? Let's turn and figure it out. Let's see. Let's see. Ah. Okay, let's see. Make sure that they're square all the way around. Oh, look at that. I made a boo-boo. One of them is not at the right size, so that's okay. Which one is it? Let's take out those ones. So sometimes that happens. I get around talking and I cut it at the wrong size. That's okay. I forgive myself. All right, so we're going to try again. Line these up, alternating with our DSP. Okay. And that one goes over there, this one over here, and another square. Now, if you have pattern paper, make sure that your patterns are going the same way. You don't want one of these to be going like sideways and the rest going up and down, because your brain will kind of say, you know, there's something not right there. So take a look at your patterns, make sure they're going the right way. Some patterns, it doesn't really matter. Like this one here, it doesn't seem to matter. But my blue one, you notice, has little chevrons on, and you want those going the right way. Okay, so I've got those all laid out. Okay, and I can see that if I space them out, they will fit beautifully all together. Whoops, there we go. And there's a nice mat around. And now what we can do, let me just show, so much for that. I wanted to show you a little bit closer. Okay, whoop. I have to set up my camera a little bit closer to the table so that you can see. There you go. And what I'm going to do is I am going to keep that pattern, take it off, and I am going to adhere with the glue all the way the little squares, okay? And I am going to try and make it as best as I can. Now, I'm going to have a little bit of gap here, but that's okay. I'm going to cover that with ribbon. So let's move this guy over a little bit. All right. Try and get it as same as the other side. There we go. Oh, it's coming together. There we go. And just take your time as you glue these guys together. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on to the end. I find working from the from the edges, the top and the bottom, and doing them one in the middle is a little bit easier, because when you place the one in the middle, if you need to go up or down, you can always do that. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go here, move it over, have it the same space. Just take your time, okay? It's not a race. Now this is going to look really fantastic if you do some Christmas cards this way with the Christmas DSP. They got some beautiful DSP that you can make this with, okay? All right, so I got these all nicely glued down. Looks fantastic. Yeah, there's a bit of space in the middle, but I'm going to be covering that with a little bit of ribbon. So where's my ribbon? And I have the ribbon that is pale papaya. Whoops, there we go. And it is going to go kind of over the middle a little bit. And I'm going to glue that down. Some people like to glue straight down with that, but I like to use some tape because sometimes I make a mistake and then I can just always easily lift that up. Okay, so let's cut that. Gonna wrap it around and a little bit of tape on the back. Okay. All right, that looks good. Okay, now let's get our card base. Now, this is totally up to you if you want to do it landscape. See, look at that. We could do a nice one like this and have a sentiment. Or we can place it in the center, just like that. Oh, Christine, somebody had the nerve to call you. How rude. Or, you know, you can kind of set it off to the side or whatever, you know, whatever you like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually place it in the middle, and I'm going to use my dimensionals to pop it up. Now, have you been following some of my newsletters? I've been starting to do some tips and ideas, and I've just got a whole bunch set up. Tips, ideas, suggestions, my newsletter. Make sure that you sign up for my newsletter. It comes out every Saturday, and I try very hard not to fill up your inbox with too much stuff. So I try and keep it to a Saturday only, and once in a while I may send out a notice just so that you won't miss a class or anything like that. But it's I try and do that very rarely. So I have this now with the dimensionals. In my newsletter, I got stuff, tips that I talk about, and so that you don't want to miss that. Okay, I've posted up above, up there, my link to my newsletter, so don't miss that. So right now, I don't have any bow on it. The reason is because I want to add a sentiment, and I'm not really sure where I want to place my sentiment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab a sentiment tag. I have a whole bunch, and I'm just going to grab something out of my little box of sentiment tags that I've been having around. And this one is actually very cool. It is from a Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkins, the kits, they give you extra pieces, so always keep those. This one's really nice. It's got a nice little pre-printed border around, so it's going to look really good on this. So we can put our sentiment off to the side here, right on the center. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Look what happens if we turn that a little bit, and then we can pop our sentiment over here. Actually, I really like that on that angle there. We can place it over there. Anyways, actually, I'm going to do it that way. So let's get a sentiment tag that suits, that you like, that suits, and I'm going to be stamping a sentiment on. I'm going to be using Night of Navy to pick up the cardstock base. All right? So let's get a sentiment, and I am going to use something from Making Plans. Now, this is something you can get only when you sign up and get a starter kit. So this is, it comes with a planner, which is absolutely fantastic. My planner is too far away for me to show you, but I love it. I love it. I have this thing about planners, and I just, you know, it is just perfect. So I'm going to use the one that says thank you in here. So let's see. Where is it? There we go. I love Stampin' Up! Stuff, especially this planner. Very cool, because I was just about to use, create a brand new planner for myself for the coming year. But then this came out, and now I don't have to. So, fantastic. Make sure you place it on the right size block. Okay, you'll see I've kind of, and you'll always notice I always put my stamps on crooked. I do that on purpose. And if you come to a class here in my workshop, I am going to put a stamp on your block crooked on purpose, because when you look at through the block, especially a polymer stamp, most people have the tendency, so they put it on the block, and when they stamp based on the lines on the block. I don't want you to do that. I want you to, on purpose, do it crooked, because it's going to force you to look through the block and stamp straight. Okay? I do that on purpose, and because it's a polymer stamp, I need a little bit of cushioning. All right? So I'm going to put a little bit of cushioning, because a polymer stamp, the ones you can see through, do not have anything squishy to kind of, I guess, squish with. So what I'm going to do is actually stamp on my piercing mat. Gives a much better image. And I'm going to stamp straight up and down. Bloop. Look at that. Turns out, if I don't like it, I can always turn it over. Actually, that turned out pretty good. And what I'm going to do is, I want to, in the Lovely and Lasty, they got these little dotty things. Never figured out, you know, what they're really called. But I'm going to use some of those in, oops, oh my goodness, on my, all right, I have no idea what's going on here. All of a sudden, everything just seemed to have died. I do apologize for that. So hopefully you're able to check in, and we can get started again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a chance to check in. Comment below that you were able to find me again. I don't know what happened. Let's just check. All right, things are moving. I do apologize. What the heck? I don't know what happened. So anyways, I'm just going to kind of continue on a little bit. And we were just finishing up with our sentiment tag here. All right, so I have my pale papaya. Are we still here? Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a little bit of pale papaya with these little dots, kind of just around to give a little bit of design to it. I think it looks a little fun. I'm just going to do a little bit on the edge. There we go. And it really was not too much that we were going to be doing. What I will do is I will clip this video together and post it on YouTube so that you will not miss any of it. So what I did is I picked up the pale papaya from the ribbon and some from the paper. And what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of ribbon behind it. So I can't see any comments at the moment. Let's see. What is going on? Hello? Okay, it must be my my internet here. I know we've been having some issues. So now I'm just doing it from my phone. All right. We all know how technology can be. So it's still working. So I'm going to put a little bit of ribbon at the back of this sentiment. And I'm going to tape it down so that you can see. There you go. Maybe I'll stand up and do this. All right. And all I'm going to do is add that sentiment on with some dimensionals to add some height. And actually, that will be really nice. So I'm going to create this card in landscape mode. You can always flip it around and do it like portrait that way. That would look really cool too, but I'm just going to go this way. Add it on to the top there. And don't forget, you can always add some little gems. Let's see, what have we got? I got some little gems I could add to that. What else have we got? Oh, okay. All right. You can add some bling onto that if you want. It's totally up to you. So there is the card that we created today. Now, as I said, you could do it portrait or landscape. So this is the other one I did. Now I just did a basic kind of knot there, and then I can add a sentiment. So I have the two different options there. So let me know which one you like better. I'm going to add a little sentiment onto this, and let me know, comment below, which one you prefer. Do you like the landscape, this one here, the landscape, or the portrait? So what I'm going to do is you comment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick somebody at random, and they will get a pack of 3 handmade cards mailed out to them. I will choose somebody at random. So landscape or portrait. So this or that. Okay. Just make it easier. Let's go. Which one do you prefer? We'll do A or B. And then I will send out a little pack of goodies for you, for a random person. So thank you for joining me. I'm not going to set this up too much because I do not want to ruin any of the video. I have no clue what's going on. Let me know what you think. Keep this card as a template and do this for Christmas. I'd love to see Christmas ideas with this. Very simple, great use of small pieces of designer series paper. Comment below, and I will see you next Tuesday when we will be making some fancy fold cards using the Lovely in Linen Suite. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, northernstamper@gmail.com. Thank you, ladies, and have a lovely, lovely day.